The ancient valley swallowed light, its hunger now understood in tenancy. My truck rattled, spitting dust. The cool, green air was a balm, seeking solace from stale city life. Thorne Manor emerged from woods, a Victorian monstrosity of gables and turrets, crumbling lace, bruised purple. Its windows, vacant eyes, stared into the indifferent forest, a canvas for my lens. Gravel crunched under my boots, echoing in profound silence. Wind whispered through pines, a stream gurgled. This consuming quiet felt like a watchful presence, ancient, pressing in, waiting. The porch groaned, the oak door rough. The antique iron key turned with a reluctant clunk. Inside, a concoction of dust, rot, old wood, and a metallic, sweet scent like dried blood clung to my throat. Shadows filled the cavernous house. Dust danced in weak sunlight. High ceilings, dark wainscoting spoke of past grandeur. My footsteps echoed, swallowed by vast emptiness. Ghostly mounds of draped furniture filled the sprawling living room. I picked a second-floor room overlooking the hollow, sleeping on an air mattress. The house groaned, wind sighed. Faint whispers, rustles, dragging sounds. I rationalized them all. Alone, reality and phantom blurred subtly. Weeks blurred into labor, stripping wallpaper, scrubbing grime. Silas, the gnarled handyman, mumbled about bad vibes. Locals gave wide-eyed stares, avoiding Thorne Manor, deepening the valley's unsettling reputation. Silas pointed out cold spots. Tools moved, a paintbrush stiffened. The metallic scent returned, stronger, hinting at iron and something organic, long dead. I sniffed the air, trying to pinpoint its ephemeral source. Nights grew less peaceful. Creaks morphed into thumps, scratches, dragging sounds upstairs. My camera recorded only static. Yet, in the dark, I swore I heard whispers, fragmented, just beyond comprehension, like distant radio signals. One evening in the library, a faint, musical tinkling came from upstairs. My heart pounded. Alone, I slowly ascended the grand staircase, gripping the banister, the sound growing clearer with each conscious effort. I pushed open the bedroom door. On dusty floorboards, among dead leaves, lay a chipped porcelain doll with one missing eye. Beside it, a music box played a faint, mournful lullaby I'd heard in dreams. I picked up the cold brass music box. It was wound. Someone had wound it. A sharp shiver traced my spine. Not Silas, not wind. These felt deliberate, a calling card. The doll's single I stared back. Nightmares intensified. A weeping woman, her face obscured, heavy chains scraping stone, a tall, menacing, silent figure looming. Sometimes, I was a helpless child, feeling despair and cold dread. I awoke to horror. My camera, left on its tripod, was gone. No forced entry. Hours later, I found it on the library mantelpiece, lens cap off, blinking, recording. My hands trembled with dread. I played the footage. The library, still, then a shadow detached from the wall, coalescing near the fireplace, drifting to an armchair. A faint sigh, then the music box tinkled. The camera panned, settled. Frozen, I stared at the paused screen. Not Silas, not wind. Something intelligent, active, manipulating my camera, sending a message. The house wasn't just haunted, it was communicating, and I, unknowingly, was its recipient. The metallic scent returned, stronger, emanating from the study floorboards. Ripping up the rug revealed pervasive, rust-colored stains. In a dark corner, near the hearth, I found a loose board. My heart hammered. Prying up the board, I found a small, leather-bound journal in the dusty cavity. Its brittle pages held delicate, looping script. On the first page, etched in faded ink, Elara. I read Elara's tragedy, a young bride, hopes shattered by her wealthy husband, Thorne. He was controlling, possessive, with a cruel temper. He kept her isolated, eroding her spirit with veiled threats and rages. Her pregnancy, a brief joy, was extinguished by Thorne's indifference. He wanted an heir, not a child. Her entries became frantic, describing growing fear, paranoia, feeling the house itself was a watchful, demanding prison. Most chilling, her child, a boy, born prematurely. Thorne's indifference turned to cold fury. He saw failure. Elara wrote of frantic attempts to protect her son, convinced Thorne would harm him. The journal ended abruptly, mid-sentence, with a plea, a curse. Frantic scrawl about a hidden place, a final resting. Then, a dark, indelible blotch, as if pressed with terrible, desperate force. The metallic smell overwhelmed me. Elara's story was a living wound. The presence, whispers, music box, doll, camera, they were her. Her desperate attempts to be heard, her cries for justice. Elara's words echoed. The house pulsed with aggressive energy. Distinct sounds of a rocking chair came from an empty room upstairs. My rationalizations crumbled. I was living inside a deeply personal, entrenched haunting. Days blurred into research. The local library revealed Thorne was powerful, his death peaceful. Elara's death, complications from childbirth. No mention of a child, no burial records. A meticulously erased history. Manifestations grew less subtle. Shadows solidified, writhed. The ephemeral shape of a woman appeared in my periphery, vanishing. Objects moved. A book on the floor, disturbed food. Never truly alone. In the kitchen, a profound temperature drop. Then, a cold, delicate touch, like frost, against my hand. A faint, wispy child's handprint appeared, slowly fading. Elara's presence was desperate, fierce, primal anger. The camera captured disturbing footage, distorted, unintelligible voices through white noise. Ghostly images, a transparent hand, a child's small footstep in dust, vanishing. I became obsessed, deciphering layers of fear. I reread Elara's journal, focusing on hidden place, final resting. I systematically searched the house, floorboards, wall panels, every nook. My quest was now about survival, urged by an entity's growing impatience. The house guided my search. Cold spots, intensifying metallic scent. Nightmares showed clearer images, a small, dark space, a wooden chest, a tiny, swaddled bundle. Always, Elara's crushing grief, overwhelming sorrow. The search led back to the study hearth. A faint, almost invisible seam in the wainscoting, hidden behind a carved panel. My fingers traced the line, heart pounding. A hidden compartment, just as she wrote. With adrenaline, I pried at the seam. The old wood groaned. As the panel gave way, a gust of stale, heavy air rushed out, carrying a concentrated wave of metallic, putrid scent. I gagged. Inside the dark alcove, a small, roughly constructed wooden crib. Empty, but at its foot, a tattered, stained bundle of fabric. Unfolding it, I found tiny, fragile infant bones. Beside them, a tarnished silver locket. I opened the locket. Young Elara, eyes wide with fear, stern, unsmiling Thorne. A strangled cry escaped. Thorne hadn't just neglected. He'd hidden his child's death, buried it within the house walls. Monstrous. The profound injustice washed over me. Elara's presence coalesced, thick and heavy. The air grew frigid. Whispers, no longer fragmented, echoed. Asterisk, he took him. My son. He must pay. They must know. Asterisk. It wasn't a plea. It was an imperative. Elara, a consciousness born of agony, sought vengeance. I was her messenger. The house awoke, walls sighing, shadows solidifying, reality bleeding into the past. Hours blurred into a maelstrom. Trapped in the study, walls pulsing with bruised light, shifting crimson. The house was possessed. Elara was the house. Its architecture a manifestation of her enduring fury. Visions slammed into my mind. I was living Elara's past. I saw her, pale and gaunt, clutching her infant. Thorne loomed, his face cold fury, his voice a guttural growl through the bones of the house. A weakness. A stain. Thorne roared, snatching the infant. Elara screamed, clawing. He slammed the child into the crib with a horrifying thud, then raised a heavy, velvet pillow. God, no. My hands were bound. I was forced to watch, forced to endure. Thorne pressed the pillow down, down, until the tiny struggles ceased. Until the small, fragile life was extinguished in suffocating silence. Thorne dropped the pillow. His face, cold, unfeeling. He looked at the lifeless infant, then at Elara's silent sobs. No one will know, he stated, methodically burying the child in the wainscoting. The vision faded. I collapsed, gasping, convulsing with residual horror. The metallic scent was now breathing liquid iron. I tasted blood. Whispers returned, a cacophony. Asterisk, he erased him. You see. You know. Asterisk. A new image. Thorne, old, frail, a smug smile. Never caught. A full, respected life. Injustice. Then, the terrifying command. Asterisk, tell them. Show them. Let his name be cursed. You are my vengeance. Asterisk. It was an imperative. Elara, waiting for a vessel, found me. I clutched the bones and locket. This was a mission. The house shuddered, cracks spiderwebbed. The valley howled, revealing its ancient secret. My own thoughts tangled with hers, fears with her rage. Identity blurred. Not just Alex. Alex, the reluctant herald of horror. I was trapped by truth, Thorne Manor's final, living witness, its ongoing instrument. The visions receded. The world felt altered, its essence changed. Beneath it all, a subtle hum. Elara, deeply intertwined with my consciousness. I rose, body aching, clutching bones and locket, anchors to terrible truth. My steps were deliberate, guided by an internal compass towards Elara's purpose. Sleep was a luxury. My mind, a shifting tableau of her suffering and my memories. The line between our thoughts irrevocably blurred. I went to the living room, then retrieved my camera. This was my tool. My language. For days, I documented everything. Cracks, stains, Elara's items. Doll, music box, locket, tiny bones. I recorded my narration, raw, strained, recounting Elara's story. Thorne's cruelty, the meticulous erasure, the profound injustice. Thorne Manor was no longer just a house. It was a witness, a prison, a broadcasting station. This was just the beginning. Elara's suffering, her demand for retribution, became my own. The revenge realm was a reality. I was its newly appointed gatekeeper, compelled by a fierce, unyielding will. Thorne's descendants suppressed the truth. But Elara's story, too potent, demanded revelation. I don't know the consequences of broadcasting this horror to the world, but I cannot stop. I am compelled. If you survive this story, like and subscribe for more nightmares. The terror continues in our next video.